Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
All right, so before we talk about the movies we chose this time around, do either you want to talk about anything you've watched recently?
Sorry. Watched the Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie.
Ooh. How was it?
Cool.
It's pretty good, really good.
That's what I've heard. I heard it was good. I want to
It's
see
like the first half's like a straight up kung fu movie. Second half's like traditional Chinese, like folklore kind of stuff. It's pretty good.
it.
Oh, that's cool.
Damn. It looks cool. Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, that one. That's probably the one I'm most interested in seeing. That like out of all the stuff that's supposed to come out in the next few months or whatever, or the next year, I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff they're doing. So that I'm actually interested in seeing. So
Yeah. It'll never end at this point for Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Seeming that way, yeah.
But I'm okay with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot to enjoy. So
Yeah. I saw that Netflix documentary with Bob Ross.
oh yeah,
It was okay. It wasn't all that interesting, really. And like the trailer made it seem like something devious and crazy went on or something.
right.
It wasn't really anything that special. Just some bad
Uh.
business decisions.
So it's like one of those VH1 documentaries or
Yeah.
stuff where all the conflict is just really forced, pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Ross was a good guy, though. Didn't he was as he was on camera, I guess. And yeah, just had some bad business partners, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and I also saw that other one. I care a lot. We care a lot.
Oh yeah,
That Netflix
okay.
one.
Yeah,
I liked that. It was good.
yeah.
I was scared near the end it was going to be bad because it started looking that way, but the last 30 seconds saved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have mixed feelings about that one, but I don't know. I mean, some interesting Rosamund Pike. I mean, I always find her interesting. So
Yeah.
Still got to see it. It's on my list though.
yeah. I watched *Malignant*.
I saw that one too.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on it or?
Well, everyone is freaking out that it's so awesome and stuff. I'm just yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay. It was okay.
Yeah. The problem is that it actually kind of reminds me more of something that we would talk about on this show. I feel like I've seen a lot of these movies, a lot of these kinds of movies, so I'm less surprised by it than a lot of other people are.
Yeah.
So, but I still liked it. I liked it actually more than Possessor, I think, only because Possessor was just, that was sensory overload. After watching people's faces get smashed in so many times, I felt sort of distance from everything that was going on, and it kind of became hard to follow, just because so many people were dying, and I was just all right, I mean, what is the plot anymore?
Yeah.
So but this kind of did that too, although I thought it did it in a more funny kind of way. This was funnier than I thought it was going to be. So
Yeah.
Actually, it was very funny. Kind of had felt sort of some of the parts at the beginning felt like one of those like TV movie like cautionary tales or something that they'd have on like Hallmark, and I don't know, just I don't know, but like I don't know, in a way it kind of reminded me of Basket Case.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching it, I kept on thinking of that. So I don't know if that's saying too much. Sorry, spoilers, but whatever. I mean, the trailer probably spoils it anyway, so, or at least implies it. It does something. So. Anyway, I saw that. That's probably like the most interesting thing. So. All right, so yeah, we've got a pretty unique selection of movies this time around. So I feel like we got a little bit of everything here. So let's just go ahead and dig in. So let's start with yours, Nick.
Mine I chose is called Simply Irresistible, starring Sarah Michelle Gellar. And yeah, that's why I chose it, because had her in it. I don't know. Saw it on one of the little Google lists I usually use to choose these movies. And the little log line is what made me, cinch it. But
Yeah.
So it's a rom-com done in like 99 or 97 or something.
Sometime in the late 90s, I think.
Yeah. They had internet stuff.
Yeah.
So it was definitely late 90s.
I vaguely recall, I think, seeing like a trailer for this movie on like a tape. Like I do remember seeing like a trailer of some kind of romantic movie about food starring Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I think it might have been this one, like because it was like around the time that she was like starting to get popular, I think.
Yeah.
And so it was like, ooh, this new Sarah Michelle Gellar movie. It's like, check it out.
Yeah. Must have been. So she's a chef, I guess. She runs in theory. Yeah. She runs a little place out of her like apartment. I mean, she has an apartment above her place. It takes place in New York City, So
yeah.
She runs a restaurant with her aunt. On hard times, it's going out of business. The new landlord's raising rent.
Yeah, I think they say it in like an early scene, like we've been around for 70 years. Like, how could we be? Because like it used to belong to her mom or something, and like her mom passed away, gave her the eatery,
Mm-hmm.
and she's trying her best, but just can't get the business going. Like the only people that come there don't really come for the food. They just kind of hang out there and chill and socialize, but they don't really eat very much. They're like it kind of like real life, actually. Like there's actually a lot of people that do that. They'll go into diners and bakeries and various eateries and get like a small meal and sit down, eat like 2 bites, and then like put it in the tray. Like,
yeah,
that's what people do in real life, sadly. Anybody who's worked in the food industry knows that. So, but anyway, I'm getting off topic.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly stated that they're like family, friends, or whatever. Not the first people she has in the shop, but yeah, it starts out with her going to the market. She runs into this weird dude that's kind of, I don't know, being all cryptic and stuff, and has a basket of crabs. And somehow he gets her to buy them. Because she at first says she doesn't want them, but like a few seconds later, she's buying them.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I felt like I missed something there a little bit. Like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of James and the Giant Peach, like where he like runs into that like creepy homeless dude with the bag of like worms or whatever, or crocodile tongues or whatever it was he called them, and the kid like gets them, and then he trips and falls, and they spill out, and he loses almost all of them. Like,
Yeah. Well, one of the crabs does get out,
yeah,
and this
that's
is how
what
we.
reminded me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
go on.
is where we get our meet cute of the
Yeah.
rom-com of it. She's chasing after the crab, and it starts climbing up the main guy that she falls in love with. You know, whatever
Yeah.
Tom, I think his name was.
Hilarious.
Yeah, she's just reaching up his pants trying to get get a crab.
Yeah, that the pants thing kind of becomes a reoccurring gag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are jokes throughout. Funny, really.
Yeah,
Because it's a rom-com.
yeah, they can't go too edgy, you know. Like,
Yeah, especially this kind, really.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Mm.
So she goes back to her after buying the crab. She goes back to her restaurant. Starts. I don't know. That's when we realize she's not that great of a chef, I guess.
Yeah,
She kind of, because she heard at the market that she like no one told her, but she heard like from a bystander that she's losing the restaurant, and she confronts her aunt. And she's like, "Yeah, we suck. We only have like these guys that come and visit us. They can't pay the rent."
yeah.
And
Yeah, so it's kind of a big bummer situation, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when but then things kind of inexplicably turn.
yeah,
It kind of turns into like Water for Chocolate, actually. Like,
I don't know that reference. I
Oh.
don't know that one.
well, okay. I mean, well, okay. Let's just look at this movie on its own terms. It kind of has that movie sort of has the same plot as this, but this is a very different kind of movie from that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, she during the meet cute, she invites the guy over to her restaurant to try a crab Neapolitan.
Yeah.
She just makes up 'cause
Napoleon.
she just sees a sign of whatever.
Yeah, crab. You want my crab Napoleon? Because she saw like some random sign that said Napoleon on it.
Yeah, it was like on a taxi
And he's like,
cab or
I'll
some
take
shit.
it or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. It's that Sean whatever dude.
Patrick Flannery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who 99. So by this point he was making the Disney money, so he could pretty much do whatever he wanted as far as an actor goes. And I would say, in my view, and I'm just gonna get this out of the way, in my view, the biggest problem with this movie is him. Like, I kind of feel like I don't know, he mostly just runs around the movie looking confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Very confused.
So, and in fact, like he kind of adds the only conflict. But okay, anyway, I'm getting ahead of you. Go on.
So this guy is like, I don't know, some businessman in general. At first he has a girlfriend, but he knows the time's running up because he has like charts and graphs and like, oh yeah, by the third date there's a drop off.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So he's going on the fourth date with this girl.
Amanda Pete, who, like around this time she showed up in what was that movie with Bruce Willis where he's like the next door neighbor to that one dude from Friends, and he's like a hitman or something. Have either you seen that?
Is it like The Whole 9 Yards or something?
Yeah.
That
That
okay,
one.
yeah. Yes, I have seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she was in that, if memory serves. But anyway.
Yeah. At this, so he shows they're going on a date to somewhere else, but it happens to be close by, and the cab just drops them off in front of Sarah Michelle Gellar's restaurant.
Yeah, I think it was the guy that sold him the crabs. That was driving.
Yep. It was that guy who sold him, who was like some kind of like, I don't know, genie, but not.
Yeah.
Because he said he talked to her mother, so like maybe he's an angel or some shit. I don't know.
maybe.
Alrighty,
But-
God.
Yeah, it may. I mean, it's possible that he's like some kind of spiritual. Like, I mean, I hesitate to call him an angel because it's not a Christmas movie, but
Yeah, but he
guess
spoke
that's
with
cool.
is implied that he conversed with her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing in this movie is explained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just magic happens.
Yeah,
There's a magic
it's one of those
crab.
like strange magical realism stories. But this one's weird though because they actually do acknowledge like later on in the movie like what the heck is going on.
Yeah,
But
they acknowledge
anyway.
magic is happening.
yeah, but then they never explain it. So
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah, so he comes in. She has to make this crab thing she promised, and she doesn't even know how. And her sous chef is there.
Yeah,
who,
she's got this great banter with Trainer.
Yeah, I love him too. Fucking
Yeah.
D from The
Yeah.
Wire.
I love
D'Angelo
yeah.
Barksdale. Fucking.
It's great to see it. And
Yeah.
and the scenes between the two of them were pretty memorable in my opinion. Like I like their chemistry, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Was this before? This was before. During The Wire, middle or
Before.
Before.
Yeah.
I wonder if this got him the job.
It's possible. He was pretty good in this, I thought.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, all I kept thinking was like, the where's Wallace? Where's Wallace string? Where's Wallace? Oh.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But speaking of The Wire, oh man, so sad. Like Michael K.
yeah.
Williams.
Yeah, damn.
We lost a
Sad,
good
man.
one.
Yeah.
We've lost a few good ones actually, but we don't have to get into that right now.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But let's see. Okay, so she's making the crab Napoleon.
yeah, and the crab. Well, the main crab,
Uh-oh.
he's out, and you can see the wire. Did you guys see the wire during it? Like,
Oh
not the wire with D'Angelo, but the wire with the crab.
Yeah.
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 Can I just say I missed like the first part of what you were saying? I saw the crab, like you put your hands up with a crab and then it like froze for a second.
Oh, I
Yeah.
said you can like when the crab was crawling out of the basket, you see the wire pulling it out of the basket.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was like
I saw that.
blatantly funny. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, he perches himself up on a shelf for the rest of the movie, basically. And
Yeah.
it cuts to like the same shot of him, just like clamping his thing
Yeah.
between like two coffee cans, basically. Like, just like, all right, he's just chilling up there.
Yeah,
Every
he
now and
clicks.
then-
He
Yeah.
clicks and stuff happens. That's basically
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And at some point, they like acknowledge it and just let it happen.
Yeah. At one point, he's just down chilling with them, and she's like, "Oh," like the guy's like, "Oh, here's your friend," and like, "Yeah, he's I don't know, hungry too or something." She says like, apparently she just lets him live around, and I mean, spoilers, by the end, she does bring him to the last location as well. She just kind of just brings him there. So
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to really acknowledge it, but we all know that. Well, nobody in the movie wants to acknowledge it, but we all know that it's the crab that's doing it. I mean,
yeah,
they clearly know it. They just don't want to
Obviously.
say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obvious it's the magic crab. Yep.
Yeah.
And like, so she's all panicking, doesn't know what to do because she doesn't know even what the recipe she basically told him she was gonna make is.
Yeah.
And like, they show her panicking but working, and then it just cuts down to a beautiful crab dish. Is magically made, and she's like, "What the hell?" And Trainer's like, "What the hell?"
It's like, oh, she did it, I guess,
Yeah, and she made, I don't know, some chicken dish for her the girlfriend, and they both start eating. Their girlfriend freaks out, like starts saying truth bombs, like, "I don't even like you, I'm using you," that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Starts chucking plates and shit. But he's like ignoring it all too. He's like, "Oh yeah," because he's just like infatuated with this crab thing she made him. He's like,
Yeah.
it's like the Harry Met Sally scene. He's like having an orgasm on the seat. He's like, oh, this is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, like a lot of the characters in this movie reacted really funny to the food. Like
Yeah,
they all like, yeah,
It was laced with something.
yeah, laced with magic, obviously. Just magic the whole way through.
it like sometimes makes people really emotional. It makes people want to eat more of it. It like makes people basically like start like screwing each other, like practically. I mean, it just makes people go berserk pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
She has that magic touch, chef's
you
kiss.
know, yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's something that happens occasionally with these kinds of magic realism type stories. Is something gets made or something happens and it like blows everybody away or does something crazy, you know. So
Yeah, it
like
is
a
explained
perfect-
actually kind of a little later at the last scene, the last supper
Yeah.
scene, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the whole craziness happens where, you know, he loves the food, she breaks dishes. He's like, oh, he kind of snaps out of it, says, oh, I'm sorry about her. I'll pay to buy you new dishes, gives her card. And she's totally all in love with him and shit already. Like,
Yeah.
there's a little funny scene where she's asking Taylor like, oh, what should I wear? This, and he's just playing with dolls. And he's like, no. And they have like a back and forth. Like, he's like, you know, men think about sex 236 times a day. You know, if we're like putting our hands in our pockets or messing with our belt, that's what we're doing. And like,
Yeah.
she chooses, he doesn't say anything, he just has his hands in like his pocket and on his belt, and then she says, okay, this one, and he's like, oh shit, yeah, that one. So, and she's doing all this to go and impress this dude. She wants to, you know, look nice or whatever, to buy these dishes back from him.
Yeah.
She goes there, breaks some shit too, but
Yeah.
he doesn't care, you know.
Oh yeah, Ramos, who he's only in like 2 or 3 scenes, but like every time he showed up in this movie, I kind of wanted the film to kind of go in a different direction and maybe have like her start pursuing him, because
Oh, really?
I don't know, like I actually thought he was kind of a more interesting character than the Sean Patrick Flannery love interest. And I don't even know who Ramos was played. I looked it up. It's like Anthony something. And I think he's in Tropic Thunder, but I don't know. I found him appealing, you know. Like I kind of wish that she'd sort of pursued him, you know.
I barely even noticed him.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just that one scene of like stacking stuff, and he's like, no, Ramon, do it like this. And he's like, yes, of course, yes. And he's like worshiping that dude.
yeah. He
And
just seemed really polite to her.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
And he
It's
does
like,
show up later too, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, there he is again. Whatever. I didn't have
Yeah,
any connection with him.
they just drop it, and she just is like freaking out, like, because I don't know, she's freaked out by everything at this point. Like she shows up and she just can't help but create a scene. I guess she's supposed to be really clumsy
And nervous. She said that,
Yeah.
like, I guess before she left and shit. She always rambles on or whatever, makes a scene,
Yeah.
does stupid stuff. Yeah. But
It's true.
did she cook yes, she did cook a pastries before she met him, right? Or is this for this time, or-
Yeah, she did. Well, let's see, okay, I think she met him they had like a big dinner, and he was nervous too, so he didn't like want to go out on a date with her, even though like she asked. Like, oh, you want to come by?
Yeah, but no,
that's
I think that's after this. Like, I'm talking about when she
Oh,
buys the
okay.
plates. Did she make one of those eclairs?
Oh,
Exactly
yeah,
remember.
like after that, so she meets him and they go, and he says, oh, I haven't had dessert yet or something like that, so they go back inside of the bakery, and then she makes him an eclair, and then something happens. The the room gets all cloudy and it like starts looking like like the set of like some kind of like softcore erotic like dream porn or something like that.
Oh
Like,
well, there's that. That's later though. That is still later. I'm talking about just like the plate. But I do see that she did make him an eclair, a dessert
Yeah.
or whatever. I wrote
Yeah.
down.
and I
'Cause
think
it's
that was
just
like the
followed
first
by,
time.
like,
Wasn't that the first time he'd had her food? Like,
her dessert at least. She had
Oh.
the crab
Oh,
nia
that's
thingy.
right. Okay.
So yeah, she I mean, she mentions the whole guys think about sex thing, and he like does the literal math, like,
Yeah.
and breaks it down. And so that's like what every once every 4 minutes. Oh yeah, that's right, that's correct. And she was like, but I was told 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And as a joke, like as a oh we don't last long in bed joke kind of innuendo thing.
Yeah.
And as she leaves, she gives him the eclair. That's what happens, and then
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, so she goes back to making, I don't know, her food, and he eats the eclair and goes crazy again.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And like you can see that her magic is still working because people start showing up now. She's getting a big crowd to her place. They do confirm, I don't know, this is the second date, I guess, maybe, or is this the third one? I don't know, when he shows up late that we were talking about. Because the number matters to this guy.
Well, okay. I know that there was. Okay, so he was involved in whatever the business thing was. That I think it seemed to be some kind of restaurant thing, a restaurant chain that somebody
Yeah,
was
he's
trying to
making a
develop.
restaurant inside of a mall.
Okay,
It's like the
that makes
first one ever, apparently.
Yeah. And he interrupts a meeting at one point to have an eclair. Oh, oh wait, that's later when he steals it from the old lady.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so he eats her stuff a few times.
Oh yeah. But anyway, she shows up. Or no, he does try and like cancel out on her, I think.
Right.
But this is when he smells the eclair from the older guests. Like there's
Okay.
It's one of the older couple that's a regular there. They're just shopping at the regular department store that he's building
Yeah.
the restaurant in, and he like follows the scent, like, you know, a friggin' cartoon dog floating in the air for the pie. He's doing that
Yeah.
kind of thing in real
With
life.
with the scent lines in the air and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he just straight up steals it out of the old lady's hands, and
Yeah.
he
He
has an
says, "Oh,"
assistant.
he like says something to her too, like, "Oh,
Oh.
no food in the mall. It attracts rats." or
New
something.
policy,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then her husband is like, "Oh, I told you this place was unsafe." Like another joke
Yeah,
about
this part
like,
of town's unsafe or something. Yeah.
yeah.
And then he brings it upstairs though. This one he does.
Yeah.
The one he steals, because his assistant he has throughout the movie eats it. And so
Yeah.
she goes
Patricia-
nuts for it as well.
Yeah. Patricia Clarkson, she busts in and steals it.
Yeah.
And she's
yeah.
like, "You have to learn to share." And
Yeah.
it's like, what a wow. Okay. But then then she goes crazy. So
She was crazy for it and like orders a shit ton of them because she has she's crushing on like this Tom dude's the main love interest boss. She's crushing on him. So
yeah.
I don't know. She somehow figured out that the food's magic and makes people go crazy because she at one point in the movie she just, you know, she orders the eclairs and like shoves it in his face, and they just start making out in an elevator. And then they're a couple for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, all the characters in this movie figure out what like the crab situation pretty fast, other than
except for the main guy.
Yeah.
Because at first this boss dude is kind of a hard ass. He's like, you know, I don't like this floor, it makes me dizzy, and like I don't think this idea is gonna work kind of shit. And he's being hard on Tom and whatnot until he has that until he has that dessert, and then he's all good and nice and likes Amanda, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Sarah
And he's
Michelle
like, I
Gellar.
want you, like, you need, or no, he doesn't say that. He's one of the characters says something about her being brought aboard to like cook the
Eventually,
big dinner thing.
eventually he
happened.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. And but we have to get to the second act breakup, of course.
Yeah, because that has to happen in
It
every
has to
romantic
fucking
comedy.
happen.
And this
And-
one is especially forced because
This
like it
one-
happens for literally no reason.
Literally no reason. I'll say it's creative and more creative than most.
Yeah.
It happens because he brings her vanilla flowers, which she
Mhm.
makes into a dish, and then I don't know, it starts steaming up. The whole restaurant has like a fog machine going through it.
Yeah,
they-
it's really
they-
beautiful. Like, ooh.
Yeah, they eat, and then when they're kissing, you see the crab lift his paw or his crab arm claw.
Claw.
That's what you call it, claw. Yeah, you see him lifting it up, and then they start floating, and he starts freaking out, and she's like, "Oh, this is cool. What's happening?"
Were you gonna say something, Zach?
Like they're hallucinating.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. Like it happens that other time too, where they're just dancing in the middle. There's like a dance scene where they're dancing in a, like, it's being worked on the restaurant before it's open, but it's like a dream hallucination scene that it's already put together and stuff, and the whole dance
Right.
scene happens. And
Yeah, massive, like, well, okay, but anyway.
but anyway, yeah, so they're floating, and then
Yeah.
this is the second act breakup bullshit where he's super
Yeah.
pissed that
They
they're
were
floating.
Yeah. He's like, I don't like that. That was scary. And she's like, let it happen. And for whatever reason, like that had to be a conflict. Like,
Yeah.
and that was worthy of them. Not only of them breaking up, but then him accusing her of witchcraft and
Yep.
casting a spell on him because she says something to him. Everybody says like random shit in this movie. She says something like, like your destiny is your future or something
Your
like that.
character, your man is character to find his character to find his destiny or something. Whatnot.
Yeah.
He's like,
And then he
a
thinks
curse?
that she then he thinks she put a spell on him.
Yeah.
And then like his suspicions are further further developed when like the next day stuff starts going wrong and something breaks. I think it's like so much conflict for no reason, which is like the one thing like about this. I think the romantic comedy element should have been removed from the romantic comedy, and it should have just been about a crab doing magic. Like,
Yeah. I wish there was more crab. Yeah.
yeah,
They didn't have enough of this.
yeah. I like the crab. The
Or
crab
at least
yeah.
have him like talk or something. Or just
That would be
waving his claw. Have him
Yeah.
talk.
yeah.
Oh,
He like
would've
clicks
made
and
for
claps
such a better
and-
movie. Yeah. Talking
Yeah.
crab.
I'd be into it, but he only shows up in a few scenes. He's a cool looking crab though. I mean, the puppetry isn't like it's not perfect, but it, I dug it. It was cute.
Yeah.
There was like one part where I almost thought that there was going to be like some bad stuff, like that something bad was going to happen to him, but then the opposite happened. But we'll get to that. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So she's coming back because while he actually got like stuck up on the roof when he was floating, like, I'm stuck. And the crab just like yoinked him down and dropped him.
Yeah.
He dropped his wallet when that happened, so she's going to return his wallet.
Yeah. Give his wallet back.
And then his assistant and his boss are there, and they're like, "Oh, you're the one that made this stuff." And during all of this, the actual chef that is opening the restaurant that he's putting together is just pissed off because his knives got lost in customs or something, because he's a French chef who's coming from France, and his knives, like, I guess, I don't know, like, can't get them anywhere or some shit.
Yeah.
So chucks a knife at the wall too at one point, and he starts spitting on people, and he's like,
Yeah.
and Tom was like, "No, I spit on myself, okay?" And,
It's like, that's the smartest decision.
oh yeah, that's the smartest decision you've made.
Yeah. And then he
so
quits. Yeah.
he fight, like he says, "I fire you," and he's like, "You can't fire me." Dumb. But anyway, that's when Shermish fucking SMG, she pops in and returns the wallet. The boss man and his assistant are all like in love with her because of the dessert she made him, and like he hasn't he's not under her spell anymore because he hasn't eaten anything of hers in a while now, and he's scared of her witchcraft and wizardry. And so they force her into becoming the chef for the opening night, and he's like, "No, I don't want her." And then that makes her want to do it, just to say, "I do want to do it because screw you, dude." So yeah, she accepts the job. But right as she gets out the door, she's freaking out because she thinks she can't do it and whatnot.
Yeah. But she brings the crab along with her anyway.
She brings the
but
crab.
She's still. Yeah, but then even after she brings the crab, she's still panicked. She's like, "Oh, I can't. This is gonna go horrible." And like, trainer's helping her along.
Yeah, he gives her a nice, inspiring pep talk. One of them good old pep talks before the final game.
Yeah,
it was sports related too, so there's that. It was something had to do with Michael Jordan and fouls and I don't know, sports.
Yeah. It was a cute moment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too.
And,
it was a good pep talk. Yeah. I was like, oh, sports. Okay.
Yeah. And then there was this real piece of work dude who was like in the kitchen who was giving them crap, like who I guess was the assistant of the previous chef.
He was the sous chef of the actual chef, dude. And he was giving her crap at first.
Yeah, and of course he's French too, so he's of course talking crap about them in French, and then she's like, "Oh, you didn't know that I speak French," and then suddenly like she takes control of the situation.
Yeah, and like a teardrop. There was like before the pep talk, a teardrop drops into the suit, like
it wasn't, and soup. It changes the color, like it's like it turns like beet red.
Yeah. And then this is kind of where the magic is a little bit more explained. So this is the appetizer where her teardrop falls in, and everybody is of course loving the food, like, "Oh, this is the best food we've ever had." Everyone starts bawling and crying.
Yeah.
And
she looks out there, and then she immediately thinks that they hate her meal.
Yeah, she first looks out, but she's brought out there by her aunt. She's like, "Oh, something's going on," which is like, it was like, it wasn't explained until like she completely freaked out. That like, no, they love it. And they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then she goes on to, I guess, the main course, and she's like totally focused and stuff and whatnot. Showing a little focused, her montage. She does give that French guy shit because she speaks French apparently too.
Yeah. It was never talked about at any point in this movie, but I guess it's okay.
No, yeah, like the main boss that first comes in before they eat anything or the food goes out, and he's like, he just says in French, "Yeah, this is a puddle of shit." And then he's like, "Yeah, sounds good." And then she during the second course is like, after she got her confidence back, she gives him 1-4.
It's just confusing because like at the beginning of the movie she like she was like confused about who Napoleon was, so it just puzzles me.
Right?
Like, it's just a weird plot twist.
Yeah, I know French somehow. Okay, whatever. I mean, there's a friggin' magical crab. You have to
I guess you have to just let it go, It's just confusing, but life goes on. I mean, it didn't bother me while I was watching it or anything. It was just kind of like one of those like, wait a minute, I'm a little all right, sure, fine. So
during this second course, they're not crying anymore. They're just like entranced. They're not in love. They're just like, I mean, they love it. They love the food, but they're like in a trance kind of.
Yeah.
Everyone, like they say now, like the sushi chefs. Oh, you made everyone all quiet out there.
Yeah, they're really focused on the meal because she was
Really-
focused on her meal.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is where the magic is explained a bit.
Yeah.
Like her emotions are getting magically put into the food. She's crying. And then like the dessert is a love dessert that she makes for the third course.
Yeah,
because
she's really horny, and so she makes a really horny dish, and then he gets really horny, and that results in the room getting all steamed up. Like,
yeah, and then in this big meal, the dessert, everyone's all horned up, kissing and making out and shit. Like the entire room turns into an orgy.
Yeah, I mean that was what I was hoping would happen, and and I got what I wanted. Everybody has an orgy. And I have to just. Can I just quickly mention too? Like, this is the second Sarah Michelle Gellar movie we've watched on this show, and the other one being Southland Tales, and they kind of have similar endings.
People floating.
They both, there's floating, and there's a room full of people having an orgy. Like, I mean that sort of happened in Southland Tales.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that until just now. I'm like, wow,
that's good.
Huh.
That's fucking funny.
But then Sean Patrick Flannery has to rear his ugly head, and then the plot
he's not.
has to continue.
This whole time he's not eating. And eating
Yeah.
the meal because she doesn't trust her still. But
yeah. And then you get like.
Oh, one funny line that Trainer said is when the movie was, or when the magic was explained, like the aunt was like, "Oh no, he was like, oh, you can make them do whatever I want," and she's like, no, she can make them do whatever she wants. And then he was like, yeah, make all the women in love with me and all the men give me their wallets.
He had some of the best lines in the movie. One of my
Definitely.
favorites. There were a lot of good lines actually that kind of made me laugh. I think my favorite one was, you cook like a man, you think with your nuts, or something like that. Like at one point one of the characters says that to her.
Yeah. No, that's
weird
the boss dude says it to the assistant lady.
Oh yeah, okay, that's
she
it.
says, thanks.
That was it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was trying to remember. But, yeah. But, okay, yeah, he like gets into a taxi to run away.
Oh
no,
right.
she does.
She does. Like, she doesn't really want with the dinner's over, so
Yeah.
she realizes
she's
he's
not running
coming after her. He's up in his office pouting, like, oh, I should go after her. They do a little miss thing on the elevator. He's going up the elevator, she's coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
Very generic.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we've all seen An American Tale. Like,
Right.
This is nothing new.
Oh, and one thing we missed was this guy is obsessed with paper airplanes as well. He wants to beat the world record of 4.2 miles for a paper airplane to fly. I forget who did it. Someone famous that I've heard of, definitely, but
Right.
some.
And also, just to be clear, the paper airplane thing, she responded to his interest in the paper airplane thing
Earlier in the movie, like when she comes and visit him, she says, oh, I like paper airplanes because I didn't pay attention in math.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of algebra. So that was supposed to mean like she like made paper airplanes of her like math papers.
Yeah, she just didn't wasn't paying attention to math and just made paper airplanes instead.
All right. So for some reason I didn't understand that joke when I was watching it. I'm like, wait, algebra?
No, it just wasn't a funny joke. That's all.
Yeah, it missed. That was a miss for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, movie. You can't get them all right.
Yeah. But so like at one point in the middle of the movie, he's like, yeah, they never land where I want them to. See this bucket I'm gonna aim for the bucket, and he chucks it, and it just flies into goes crazy and flies into some lady's hair.
Some ridiculously unnecessary CGI.
Yeah, yes.
It was like a cartoon, like paper airplane going.
Yeah, like they could have. I mean, I guess they would have. I mean, well, CGI that, but not the crab. But I think the better decision was a puppet crab anyway. So
Yeah.
thankfully they didn't CGI the crab.
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful that the crab was like an actual, like, was it? Yeah, puppet, like moving thing.
Yeah, there were strings attached. I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
Interesting prop
so
character.
she's leaving. He sees her out her balcony, tries to call for her, but she doesn't hear. He has a paper airplane in his hand, and
For some reason.
yeah, because he's like, sitting back in his office desk, fiddling
Oh,
around
yeah.
with it.
Okay.
And then
here comes a miracle.
The miracle. The crab. I don't know if did the crab have something to do with this? I don't know where the crab's at this point.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the kitchen. Oh, I remember where the crab is. The French assistant guy who, okay, I thought he was going to cook the crab, but instead the exact opposite happened. He actually like bonded with it and started feeding it.
Yeah, because he's digging the meal. Yeah, he was like, "You want some?" And then he even made like a licking sound effect too.
Yeah, like why? What was that all about? The guy suddenly like loves this crab. Like, all right.
Yeah, we'll go with it. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he chucks the paper airplane and it lands through the window of the cab. She gets out, whatever.
Yeah. She picks it up, is like, and she opens it, reads the letter, or does whatever. And she's like, "Stop the car!" Or maybe she doesn't say that.
She doesn't say that, but it happens.
Yeah, like we've seen this scene 1,000 times. Like it's, except with this time, it was with a paper airplane
and a magic crab.
Yeah, and a magic crab. So they get out. It's a beautiful moment. Yep. Stars.
He hides a dress for her in the elevator.
Yeah.
To put on. Because it's like a black and white affair, but it's a pink dress, so she stands out.
Yeah.
They start dancing and they start floating again.
Mm-hmm. And this time he's cool with it.
Yeah, this time he doesn't mind, and no one else seems to notice at all either.
Yeah. And for the first time in the movie, he no longer looks confused.
Yes.
And then it says the end in credits, or in cursive. Fancy.
The end. Fancy cursive credits, yes.
Yeah. And there you have it. Simply irresistible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Quite the tale.
It was a quirky, upbeat little movie that I found utterly charming, I must admit. Like, I'm there were a lot of issues I had with the romance stuff. I thought all that was kind of dumb. But the stuff about her like cooking all this food and make people like get all wigged out, tripped out, and all this shit. Basically, this movie is just people getting stoned for 90 minutes. It's pretty fun.
What I of course had a little headcanon in my mind going on. I was like, oh, this could have been a script for Buffy that they just we'll not make this one. Like a demon chef comes in and sets up a restaurant in Sunnyvale, and everyone in town is eating this demon chef's food, and they're all getting entranced, and then Buffy has to come in and slay the demon chef. I was like, oh, this could have just been adapted from script they didn't use in season 2 or something. Like,
rework it into a romantic comedy.
Yep. Because they had a singing demon that made everyone break into song in one of their best episodes ever.
Oh yeah.
Once More with Feeling. So
I love
it's
that.
not far off of a plot that they've done. It's in my head canon.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. I mean, I almost feel like they've done that kind of thing a few times on that show. So
definitely.
Once more wouldn't have been a bad idea. I feel like there was a it wasn't a Goosebumps episode. It was Bone Chillers. Like, there was an episode where there was like a lunch lady who like was feeding this food to the students that the kids thought was really, really good, and they started eating more and more of them, but then it turned out the food, this is pretty disgusting, it turned out she was actually a giant cockroach lady who was putting like eggs into like cockroach eggs into the food and feeding them to the students, and the reason that they were getting hungry was because they were getting pregnant with cockroach babies and maggots. Like, it's disgusting. Like,
Huh.
so there's that actually, there actually is an episode of a kids show where that happens. It's repulsive. But one thing I will say though is that, like, the way I'm just gonna ruin the whole episode. The way they killed the cockroaches is with mustard, and I feel like, if there were kids out there who saw that, like, who didn't like mustard, maybe after watching that episode they'd be a little bit more curious to try it.
I don't like mustard.
Yeah, I don't like mustard either. Anyway,
so, I guess in my ending, it was a fine, I mean, generic rom-com. Like, it had
yeah,
all the rom-com beats to it, but it's a magic crab. Little twist in there for you.
yeah, it's definitely silly, but I don't know. I can get into something like this. I mean, I know it's dumb and it does pretty much everything you expect, but I don't know, when I when I care about a situation, like, I could feel the weight and pressure that she felt at the beginning of the movie about her business dying. Like, that's a pretty
Yeah.
easy situation to feel sympathy for,
And her throughout wondering if it's actually her, like, becoming a good chef, or just this magic shit happening to her.
yeah,
That was a common thread throughout.
pretty much. Once the romance stuff started happening, like, it kind of felt like a TV movie, like, or some kind of cheesy thing, only with a bigger budget, and better caliber actors. But I don't know, I was still into the crabs. I like the food stuff. There was not that much food stuff, actually, now that I think about it. Like, there
Yeah.
were only a few shots of like the plates with food on them. There was never any, like, they didn't really get a whole lot into like the actual creation of the food stuff, which would have been more interesting. I feel like they could have devoted more time to that rather than the forced love story where they like start dancing, all that. I don't know. But,
Yeah. I hear ya.
and then the peach at the end that they cut open and all that white stuff pours out. Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
more
oh,
steam, more fog
yeah.
coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love fog.
No, but it was like a particular it would look like white cream.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what he
And-
fed to the crab. Yeah.
yeah,
The
which
cra-
that was
What does that mean?
I don't know what that was, but it looked suggestive. So I didn't understand why they held on that shot for so long. Like, it had to have been intentional,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I don't know. What were your thoughts on it, Zach? Honestly,
I felt like just a bizarre Lifetime movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't like Lifetime shit. So that romance stuff I didn't like, but the bizarreness of it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Magic crab. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I would probably compare this kind of to a Lifetime thing as well. Like if like Recipe for Seduction was extended to 90 minutes or something like that.
Yes.
I don't think it would have been as enjoyable.
They ran out of steam with that 15 minutes they had.
Yeah. But anyway.
I'd give it 2 stars just because, Sarah Michelle Gellar, huge fan. Trey, I don't know the actor's name. I should, D'Angelo. I know D'Angelo Barksdale. Well, he's good. D.
There were a few good actors in it. You know, I like Patricia Clarkson. You know, Dylan Baker is always fun. I don't know. I enjoyed the cast.
Plus the
quite a bit.
crab.
Yeah, the crab was pretty dope. Really, the only cast member I didn't enjoy was Sean Patrick Flannery. I thought he was kind of annoying, and I didn't enjoy his acting. I thought it was like kind of just annoying.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know. What about you, Zach?
Give it a 1.5. It's bizarre enough that I enjoyed some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
I'm gonna go the whole 9 yards. See what I did there, and I'll go ahead and give it like 3.
Nice.
I think honestly, like there was enough going on in this that I felt invested. You know, during the silly stuff where the guy was bumbling around the offices and all that, I kind of tuned out. Was like, all right, this enough of this. Like,
Yeah.
at some moment, like it's
There were
like
some cooking montages I tuned out during.
oh god, way too many montages. I mean, I think they should have actually had those montages be actual scenes. I would have preferred them to not like skip over that stuff. You
Yeah,
know,
and like the last one, it was just flashbacks, like when they were, I don't know, getting together from the not airport, but cab.
yeah.
There's just flashbacks of the whole movie, basically.
Yeah, it's like, why are we summarizing this again? Like, what's the point here?
It wasn't that hard to follow.
No.
Magic crab and food.
Yeah, like that's about as simple as it gets. But somehow they had to try to make the plot more complicated. I think this would have been a better movie if it had a lighter tone. Like, I think if it were more whimsical, like it had those moments, but there wasn't enough of them. Like the plot kept on getting in the way,
Yeah.
you know. But I still liked it. I'd love to see like more of this kind of thing, like where like somebody makes a movie and just says fuck it, let's just be as weird as possible and just have inexplicable things happen and not explain them. Like, I'm into that kind of thing, you know. That's why I like David Lynch's stuff. I mean, this is definitely nowhere near that level.
Yeah.
This is definitely nowhere near that level. But the thing with the crab though, and the weird way it was making people react, like that was a step in the right direction, you know. Like let's see more of that.
Yeah.
Let's see more food that causes people to go berserk, you know.
Yeah. I'm down. Glad you liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. You know, you've chosen some good ones on this show, you know. So all right, so I guess I'll talk about the movie I chose now, which is Snatchers.
Okay.
Yeah, which this one actually kind of reminded me a little bit of Teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that.
Yeah, it was another kind of teenage whatever you call it type of movie, like like a teen gets in over their head type of thing, you know, like with like the whole abstinence thing or not remaining abstinent. And with Teeth it involved, you know, some a terrible thing that I won't get into. But with this movie, it's not about that. It's about pregnancy. So this is about teen pregnancy. So this is, I guess, kind of more along the lines of that type of like teen pregnancy drama kind of thing. But this one is definitely like a more of a horror movie though, like horror comedy. So that she
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually laughed quite a bit watching it. There were some good lines. Like, so it's like some dude who she's been into who he just returned from a trip to, I don't even remember where he went. Like, I watched this movie. Yeah, okay, Mexico. Yeah. I watched this movie over a week ago, so there's some parts of the plot I'm probably forgetting. But
I just watched it a few hours ago, so I can fill him in.
excellent. Thank you. All right, yeah. He just got back from Mexico. They get more into that later, but they end up sleeping together. And she wakes up and she's she's very pregnant. Like she's like about to burst like the following day, right?
Yeah, well, what confused me is like she does wake. She's not the immediate next day. She isn't, but she like does that. She pukes.
Oh,
There's
that's
that
right.
puke scene where she like almost makes it. She doesn't have the belly yet, but
Yeah.
she's about to make out with the boyfriend, and then she just like projectile vomits all over the wall.
Yeah.
And then later in the day, she goes from laughing to crying, and like there's like it's also like established that she is turned into like a mean girl, a mean girl.
Oh, okay.
She's in a mean girl clique, and she like ditched her best friend that's we'll meet in a few, but yeah, she ditched her best friend during sophomore year or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. So okay, I remember now. All right, so yeah, so she wakes up, she's pregnant, and she like and like it's like the morning, and she's trying to get out of the house without her mom seeing her, and she has to like sneak out the window.
She gets stuck.
Yeah, she gets stuck. They gotta have that, gag in there.
Yeah.
And she gets in touch with her previous best friend that you mentioned, who she's now like kind of like a feminist type like girl who's like more intellectually oriented, and so she like the whole time she's kind of like reluctantly helping her, like because she's still kind of mad at her. Yeah, she's still kind of mad at her for ditching her.
Yeah, the main character he definitely was like a mean girl, like
yeah,
just trying to be popular and stuff. And she just
Yeah.
ditched her.
Yeah, pretty much, like just didn't even acknowledge her. It's like, oh, she's just some girl I knew, but okay, so her friend is helping her, and she takes her to the clinic, right? Oh wait, first they go to the mom's house, and like the mom like doesn't know she's there, but she knows that her friend is there. Like she sees her friend, her daughter's hiding under the table because she still doesn't want her mom to know that she's pregnant. Because her mom was a teenage mother as well, so it's like, oh, I can't let my mom know that, like that I'm making the same mistake that she made and all that stuff. So except this is exponentially worse because suddenly she's pregnant out of nowhere. So but she talks to her friend and they reminisce for a moment.
Yeah, and it does give a little insight because like they obviously were good friends all growing up, and she's like, where have you been this last year or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, oh. And like the mom is all like, I think what, like she questions her friend, like, have you noticed anything weird going on? Not even before the pregnancy shit, just about her, turning into a little bitch.
Yeah, like to put it delicately. I shouldn't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's just like, I don't know, because she's like hiding under her and tries to shoo her out,
Pretty much. And so okay, so then they go to the health clinic, and there's like one of those pro-life people outside.
Yeah.
Which actually that was kind of a funny moment because he's like doing the chanting or whatever, holding the sign, and they just blow him off and they go in, and then he stands there and he's like, bitch.
He's like, I wrote this line down because I laughed at it. It was like, Jesus loves you, bitch.
It's funny. And so they get her set up. They're gonna perform the operation, but before that can happen, the baby ends up. Okay, so it's not a baby. It turns out it's like a pretty cool looking type of like anthropod looking thing, like
yeah.
But it cuts his head off. It like bites it off.
Well, she gets a sonogram first too,
Right.
because they're trying to explain like this has happened overnight, and no one's believing it. Like, whatever, lady. And then
Yeah.
they get the sonogram and they see like claws and shit or whatever. And yeah, and then the doctor comes in and gets his head blown off.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he had like, I'm an OBGYN, nothing down
Yeah.
there. I've seen everything I can see down there. And then he's like, oh, boom, head exploded.
Yeah. Yeah, but although what it ends up actually doing is it ends up kind of latching onto the back of people's heads and like kind of taking them over and like
Yep.
taking over their minds, and then
Yeah,
like
like a head crab from Half-Life, basically.
yeah, basically like that kind of thing. And which it's kind of cool actually, like that part of the movie I thought was like that, even though this is a comedy, that aspect was actually like kind of horrific, like
Yeah,
just
it
because
had
the
like
idea
a
of like,
stinger. Had like a stinger that would go into the spine, Matrix style.
yeah, and it would like control people, and that idea kind of wigged me out a bit because it would leave like a big gaping like hole
Yeah,
in the
because
back of your
it
neck
doesn't
and
kill
stuff.
them. Doesn't kill the
No.
people. Like it can jump off and then you'll be fine. 'Cause
Right.
it does like sometimes like jump from person to person and control them
Yeah.
and shit.
So that happens in the clinic. It bites the guy's head off and it jumps on the assistant or the nurse or whatever. So they somehow they take it out or do something with it, but they don't
No, they
kill
just
it.
run. They just run there.
Oh.
They just fucking run. Because they're even they're like trying to they just freak out and run. And they even mention like because
I remember.
There is a talk about, well, what about the clinic?
Yeah.
It's probably dead, right? Or like, because
Yeah.
they're worried they don't want to kill more people too, so they have
Yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah, they run like cowards out of the clinic, because they didn't want to deal with that issue, even though that's kind of big to have a giant crab scorpion thing taking over people's minds. But whatever, they run away, and she says, "Do you think that thing is dead?" or whatever. Oh, I think it is. And then her friend is like, "Yeah, but probably not." And like, I think it's even behind the car.
Yes,
like,
that was a good.
The one.
Yeah, the start, it was like even the numbers of the streets were like 600, 700, 800. Yeah. And you just see it crawl, like, because it was like an indie comedy kind of. It had like those kind of snappy, witty characters, and one thing like those zoom shots of close-up zoom shots of them doing shit type stuff when they're like gearing up for fighting and whatnot. It had the indie comedy vibes to it.
Yeah,
and that was definitely one of them. Like she would stop, and then the head crab would be coming, and then get to another stop. Did it the rule of 3 before it ripped off the license plate.
Yeah, which of course got them in trouble with the cops. But yeah, that moment kind of reminded me a little bit of like It Follows. Only it was funnier.
Too. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, kind of like It Follows here.
Yeah. So they get to, where did they go? Oh yeah, okay. It's like somebody who they saw perform like a goat.
No, so actually this happens. This is when they go to the mom's house, because because they mention, well, like they're trying to think of ways to stop this next one from happening, and the friend is like, just put it in front of a blender. And then they do. So she's like on the counter with just a blender between her legs, just waiting for the next
that was funny.
Yeah.
And then then she has another idea, and that's when they decide to go to, I don't even remember what his name was.
Dave.
Some guy who they saw,
because it wasn't coming. They needed to induce the pregnancy.
Yeah, and they saw him like deliver a birth of like a goat or something, or a cow.
An alpaca.
Oh, alpaca. That's it. Okay.
It was like
that's
3
funny.
weeks. I remember this because I like this movie a lot, actually.
Oh, good.
It was like it was like 3 weeks late, so he like they went every summer or something.
Okay.
To this guy's farm or whatever.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. So okay, so they go there. He's got this stuff, and they're gonna like do something. They're gonna like destroy it in something. And
They put her out. They do the same thing, but with a wood chipper.
oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. So she's pregnant. She's got her legs spread. She's kneeling down in front of the wood chipper, ready for it to just go right in. He injects the stuff that's supposed to induce the pregnancy, but it doesn't work. And so then like her like he's like, well, I can't give any more. That might kill the baby. And then her friend is like, that's what we're trying to do, because it's like killer demon baby that's like that takes over people's minds and stuff.
And even he just says, I just heard what I said right as I was saying it. Let's do it.
Yeah. But then the cops come, and that kind of puts a stop to that plan. So then they go to the police station. They have to deal with her mom. The other dude, Dave, gets locked in a cell somewhere.
Because he just had to take a poop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally all he said when they.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the mom, it gets all pissed. Oh yeah, okay. So then this is when we meet the which character is it? The cop. The one who ends up actually becoming a main character, sort of. I don't remember what his name was.
I don't remember his name either, actually. Yeah. But...
Oh, anyway, he was cool.
Yeah,
he might have been my favorite character, actually, even though
I liked him.
Even though I don't remember his name. So he ends up actually kind of getting involved inexplicably. Wait, it's because he was the one who was first on the scene at the hospital. Because at some point they call him over because one of the other officers is having a birthday party or something, and I don't remember exactly what it is. And so he's the one.
It's a birthday party, but he's closer. It's like, we got him an ice cream cake. It'll melt. And he was like, well, save me a piece. It's an ice cream cake, man.
Yeah, so it's like, so he misses out on the ice cream cake. So automatically I feel bad for him, and I want to see good stuff out of him.
Right.
And like, my first thought was, oh man, I hope this character ends up being more than just a police officer. And indeed, he actually ends up being more than just a police officer. He actually becomes a really resourceful asset to the situation, surprisingly, which was not the direction I expected his character to go in, because at one point I thought his character gets killed.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Like, because it's basically at the police station where it shows up. Yeah, it shows up because it starts taking people out left and right. Dave gets killed somehow. Yeah.
Like,
because he explained. Dave is like, it's following. Dave's like kind of explains out in the toilet. After he takes a dump, because there's just a beat back and forth. Don't look at me, but he keeps trying to explain. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's probably using sonic waves or gamma rays. No, probably sonic waves to track you down.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. You get lots of good gore here and there.
Yeah, at the police station, there was a huge shootout. Like, they I think it was the Jesus dude that came to the door, and they just blast him.
Starts all screaming individually.
That was great.
They blast him, and the body dies, but it doesn't, because they don't shoot actually at it. They just shoot his body a lot.
Stormtrooper aim.
Pretty much.
To be fair, that's a small thing that was jumping around a lot. Small and fast little target.
Yeah, agreed. Not everybody can be Gordon Freeman. So.
Yeah.
But
he had a crowbar. They should have used it.
I know. Well, and also, to be fair, Gordon, he's kind of cheating because he wears glasses. So
right, yeah. helps that aim.
Yeah. No, but okay, so let's see. Something happens. I don't remember what. Oh yeah, okay. The mom, I think something happens to her. She gets taken over.
Yeah, this is at the police station. A lot of stuff happens at the police station.
Yeah.
So this is where we think he dies, because the main cop, I looked it up, his name was Gomez.
All right. All right.
Oh wait,
Officer
no, that's
Gomez.
Oscar was his name.
Oh.
The actor's name is Nick Gomez.
Oh, Nick Gomez. Okay. Oscar,
Is
the
the
officer.
cop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Officer Oscar. Cool.
Yeah, the head crab makes him stab himself in the eye and then just jumps off. So we think he's dead.
Yeah. But it turns out, well, we find out pretty soon. But at first, we got to get to the part where
it takes over the mother.
Yeah, it takes over the mother.
Because
and then
that's actually a funny scene when it happens too, is because Dave is like, we have to get they took that whatever they used, they're trying to force the pregnation. They took it into evidence.
The serum.
So he's like, you do that and I don't know, go distract him. And that's when Dave dies. Rip.
Yeah.
Like just gets the thing just, snaps his neck. A little funny scene. And they're like, and the lockup is a finger scanner. So they're just grabbing random arms and trying to use random bits of body parts to see whose finger will unlock it.
Yeah.
And eventually,
which is a smart move. Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, it's a full dead body. So they had to drag a whole dead body to put some, the monsters chasing them tension.
Yeah.
And the mom closes the door on them, on the two teenage girls, sacrificing herself.
Yeah.
Or her
It's
daughter.
kind of an emotional moment. And then she does give birth at the police station too, eventually. Oh, she doesn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, I don't think.
Okay. Because I'm trying to remember when she gave birth to to the female.
Oh,
Wasn't it
right.
at the police station? Like at the end or whatever? And then she passes out.
Yeah, she does. At some point, she does give birth to it. It might have been then.
I think it
I don't
was.
remember.
Yeah, it was. I think so.
Okay.
Because they were safe in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
It gets a little confusing because there's that scene and then there's a brief part where there's something that happens at a grocery store, which I don't know, this movie it starts to kind of slow down a little bit. So her feminist ex best friend ends up taking her to her ex-boyfriend's house because suddenly, it's okay, we need some kind of explanation as to why you're giving birth to these demonic monster things. And so it turns out that he plays dumb, but then eventually he just hits the road and darts out of his own house and drives away.
Yeah,
to go to a party.
It's implied even earlier that he's super horny or whatever, and it's implied that he's still infested or whatever. And he's just trying to get some and spread the seed more.
Yeah,
there was an earlier convo with him, and he was just he's acting weird, and then he's acting weird then too, and he just bails.
Yeah, and so they then they get into a fight. They're not talking for a few minutes, and then eventually her friend begrudgingly decides to keep helping her, finds his laptop, says talks about how she has a brother who
it was funny how they found it too. She was in the bath, she locked herself in the bathroom, was trying to cry, get some tissues, but the tissue box was empty. The toilet roll was gone. There's a huge stack of just tissue and toilet papers in the trash, and behind the trash can was his laptop that they were looking for.
Yeah. And so they bring it to her brother because her brother's good with computers. And I think this is also around the time that whole grocery store thing happens, where there's this guy at a grocery store or at a gas station, I don't even remember what, and he's on the phone with his mom, I think. I don't even remember. And
well, it is the teacher. It is their teacher from the beginning of the movie.
Right,
And
right.
I don't know. Yeah, he's on the phone with his mom or his wife complaining about, but I like doing this or some type of shit. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the store gets attacked, but thankfully he manages to get out and survive. And that's when he gets into contact with Officer Oscar, who shows up pretty fast.
Yeah, he calls the police station, and then it like goes back,
Yeah.
it goes to the phone covered in blood and like bloody body parts, and like, a hand picks up, and
Yeah.
and it just, it shows him with still like a pencil sticking out of his eye. It's like,
Yeah.
Mayor Verde Police, how may I help you?
Yeah, pretty much. And then he goes there and he's gonna blow them up, but then he realizes if he does that, he's gonna get a bunch of people killed. So,
No,
that's
just
kind of.
the mother,
Oh yeah, the mom. Yeah,
just
that's
the
right.
mom, because they
Right,
kind of have
'cause
a
everybody else is
connection in the
dead.
beginning. Like,
Yeah,
we got a little.
there was a spark.
Yep.
Yeah. But
And he was warned too, like because they called right before he was about to blow it up.
yeah,
'Cause the computer, the brother is like is a computer dude, and I guess he sets up security for various places around town, and
yeah,
that was the one place that didn't lock up that night. And they were like, well, why didn't you tell us this? And he's like, I don't know. I liked that brother. He was funny.
he was a great character. I enjoyed that part, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed how like
And his
even though-
hacking scene, I loved how he was. They were like asking him, so are you like what, hacking into it? And he's like, no, I'm just guessing a password. He's a douche. He's like, what, a douche? He plays water polo, lacrosse. It's like, okay, so it's gonna have to do with boobs or farts. Oh, there it is, boob fart 69.
and he guesses correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. The guy has dyslexia, so his teacher ended up giving him permission to make a video essay on Mexico, and that's when he discovers, or that's when you find out why he has the demonic sperm, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because he accidentally broke a erection off of a Mayan statue. Wait, okay, this is correct,
This is
right?
hilarious. Yeah, no, it's hilarious too. He was like going up to his, like he was blowing off the rest of the fucking museum.
Yeah.
The whole trip, he was just being like a douche. And then
Yeah.
he sees the statue and he's like, oh, look at the detail. This is awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He's obsessed with the dick, and he ends up breaking it. And
Yeah.
then some pink stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Now
just
he
a
met,
puff of
Yeah.
pink smoke. Yeah.
and like magic, although not the same kind of magic that you get in Simply Irresistible, obviously, but he magically has demonic sperm. So that's the plot of Snatchers. So now comes the part where, okay, crap, now we got to find the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend, and he's going to a party with a bunch of horny teenagers.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing now is like, because they were just they only wanted to find the boyfriend to figure out what happened. Now there's
Yeah.
I wrote this down too because it reminded me of Heroes, and they even say it a few times in this, the Heroes, this TV series.
Yeah.
She's like, save my mom, save the world. They say it a few times instead of save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess like really the fate of the world is actually sort of at stake according to the legend, because like, so the two babies that she gave birth, the two demonic babies, are busy getting it on, and I mean,
that
for
was
lack
funny
of a better
too.
word,
That was funny too, because like they were just using, like, I think it was during maybe the party scene or whatever, like they were saying there's a fucking alien, and then they show the alien humping and he's
Yeah.
coming, and then they show the alien going like, ah. Like he was.
Yeah, I mean, it was
oh,
definitely
God.
it was definitely juvenile, but it was still funny. Like,
Oh, it was hilarious. I
yeah,
loved it.
and the effects didn't look half bad. Like,
No, the puppet
yeah.
was like very like reactive and animated. It had like eyebrow raising like mechanics in it. It was like when it was doing
yeah,
when the people were doing stupid shit. It was like, like like gave a "what the fuck are you doing" face.
Yeah, like one of the cool things about this movie is that there were a lot of close-ups of the creatures, and the close-ups you could tell that like they were like puppets and animatronics and stuff like that. And there was some CGI, but it's not used very much. It's mostly used in the scene where the little demon is trying to escape the cops and getting shot at, and
And then like
then
the
later
bigger
on,
one too. Yeah.
yeah, in the party. That's the yeah. Okay, so they get to the party. There's some tiff between her and some other girl who had her sights set on this guy that she's into, and so there's all this teen drama that it was just like whatever.
No, it
But
was because it was she had her sights set on the boyfriend.
The ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that was trying to impregnate all these people.
Yeah.
So she did. She even said, "I don't care about that. I'm just trying not to make these more aliens come out."
Right. No, yeah. But I was just kind of because I was trying to remember what at the beginning of the movie there was the whole thing where she was like jealous, or it was assumed that she was jealous over her.
And
it's
they
like,
even
yeah, because she
They
considers him a friend or something.
yeah, it's a type of friend that we would sleep in this, take a nap together in the same bed, and it wouldn't be anything.
Yeah. Which is like, okay, well.
And then,
Yeah, I mean, it didn't work out so well for the people in Teeth, but
and as she's driving off, or as he's driving off, or whatever, she's like drinking a bottle, and then just send like to get him over, she just sends him the eggplant peach squirt emoji.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
So let's see. So they deter the whole sex thing. He ends up.
Well,
Actually,
yeah, this
wait.
is after they bust in. They like robe up, get body armor up, because they get to the police, or they get to the the store, and notice that everything's gone. The mom's gone. The big egg is gone, or whatever. So they infer that, oh, it's going to a place where lots of sex is happening, which is a teenage party.
Pretty
and then
much.
they do like one of those robe or montages of like them gearing up and shit, and they just bust down the door, and they're all drinking, and
Yeah.
they're all like looking at them like they're crazy because they're saying there's an alien coming to kill us all.
Yeah.
And then they say, wait, no, okay, the cops are coming, run, the cops. And they're like, nah, the neighbors called them like 5 times, they haven't showed up. And they're like, oh, well, that's because they're all dead, aliens are coming.
Yeah, which it's true, like it. I mean, they do even though they have an explanation for everything, like they are true explanations. So
yeah, but you're not gonna believe it, of course.
No, it sounds completely stupid. But the boyfriend eventually skedaddles. I do remember that. Like
he's still in there.
Okay.
He gets beaten up and just knocked out, and during the fray of the party going crazy.
Okay.
And them trying to kill the thing, he just gets knocked out.
Okay. But for some reason I have a memory of him getting kidnapped by the government. I don't know why.
Hey, it's an end credit scene.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, I didn't realize. Okay. All right, we'll get to that. Anyway, so okay, so then of course the creatures are there. There's mayhem. Some people did people get taken over? I remember
a few do.
Yeah.
People I'm pretty sure die and shit too, I think.
Yeah. And the main girl kind of ends up in a situation where like it's like a life or death sort of, like, oh, am I going to sacrifice my life by blowing this thing up right now?
Oh, and she saves her mom too, because
her
mom was glued up against the wall to some pink gook from the alien.
Yeah,
I don't know why they
cocooning.
I don't understand why the aliens wanted to save the mom at all, keep her around.
Maybe they wanted to impregnate her.
Yeah, that would be my guess, but I assume they really needed a male.
Yeah, I don't know. That's true. They didn't really explain that, but that would have been the. I mean, I don't know. Is it possible for these demonic creatures to impregnate human beings without a human host? I mean, I don't know. I don't see why it wouldn't be possible.
Like that's what I don't get at the end too. Is like the two aliens do fuck, and the one is
Yeah.
pregnant. So I'm not sure why they need more people if they're just gonna spawn more like that.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I guess if they're gonna like do it, they may as well do it like with people who are already having an orgy. You know, people who are already in a giant ball of sex.
Maybe just accelerates the process.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the movie didn't really have time to go into details like that.
Yeah.
But regardless, something bad's about to happen, but you don't really quite know what. And you know, they managed to take it out. And at the end, she's gonna blow it up, but she finds the serum, like that induces the pregnancy, and she jacks it right into this, and this time it works. Which I guess it makes sense because it's directly into the source rather
She just
than
chucked.
into the person
She like
holding the
just
source.
chucked 2 bottles into its mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was what she did. Yeah. For some reason I thought she injected it, but yeah, no, I remember that now. Okay, yeah, and so that takes care of that. They make good, everybody's okay. She and her friend managed to kind of regain their kinship, which was a satisfying conclusion because I actually liked her friend a lot.
Yeah, I did too. She was cool.
Pretty compelling. I liked all the characters, and I liked the fact that the main character was flawed but ended up learning a valuable lesson about friendship and love, you know.
And the mom and the cop got together too at the end. She asked, she's like, he's one-eyed now, but he's like, you want to go on a date with me? She's like, yeah. And he's like, I know this might be a bad time or whatever, but you know, yeah, let's go on a date.
Yeah, why not? You know, so some new loves are formed. You know, love blooms on the battlefield, as we all know. And everybody manages to come out of it pretty okay, other than the boyfriend who gets kidnapped by the government during the credits. You know, maybe they'll make a sequel to Snatchers, but probably not. And it's Snatchers 2, the second trimester, something like that.
Well, that would imply they're making a trilogy.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I don't know. We can dream, I guess.
I like this movie a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it, Zach?
That was pretty good. You know, your typical indie horror comedy.
Yeah.
Which I always enjoy. So
Yeah, I do too. You know, this one kind of reminded me a little bit of Murder Party.
Yep, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
This is Murder Party like.
Yeah. Yeah. The characters were likable. The gore was plentiful. There was some good gross out moments here and there. The creature
Good
design was
writing,
pretty
too.
solid. Yeah, the writing was pretty fun. I remember laughing quite a bit. I don't remember anything like much of the dialogue, but I remember laughing quite a bit while I was watching
I liked it.
So.
Yeah, I liked it a lot because there's
Yeah.
there was a point I wrote it down. She was like, "WT fuck."
Yeah, I remember that. That was good.
Yeah, and they used a lot of stupid they made fun of it more or less, but like
Yeah.
not millennials. We're millennials, aren't we? Whatever's below us lingo.
Yeah, the Zoomers.
them Zoomers lingo. They're making fun of them with the stupid way they talk and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like their Juno, you know.
They even made a Juno reference too.
Yeah. I mean, this movie makes fun of everything. It's great.
She was like, I'm not gonna go out there and Juno it or something.
Yeah, no, it was a good movie. They had a lot. They made fun of a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it still managed to actually like work as a horror film. Like, it had some good creepy little moments here and there. Probably the creepiest part was at the police station, or not at the police station. Well, actually, that but mainly the hospital. Like, I don't know, that whole bit was a little eerie. There was a moment where the pro-life guy went into the hospital like to see what was going on, and he like looked in the hole, and the hole was broken through because of the demon thing, and he gets killed, I think, but or taken
He gets
over.
taken over, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, he's the one on the car. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
It's
he's the
all
one that
clicked in
shows up
now.
to the cop station too.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he ends up being the real deadly one. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I'm glad I'm glad I saw it. I definitely enjoyed it. I was thinking I thought it was going to be kind of a cheaper, like more like goofy type of movie, but it actually played it pretty straight for the most part. It had a good balance of like tongue-in-cheek humor. Yeah, and I also like the look of the movie. It was nice and colorful. It didn't like try to go too showy, but at the same time there was a decent amount of atmosphere. You got a good sense of the locations, you know. It didn't feel episodic. A lot of movies where characters go to different locations all like throughout tend to develop sort of an episodic sort of rhythm. Like Inherent Vice kind of does that, which is one of the things I don't really like about that movie. But this movie actually managed to avoid doing that. You know, like the only part I would say might have been like a little excessive was when they went to the boyfriend's house and they had that big drama moment where they aren't getting along. That was a bit of a frustrating moment, but
Yeah.
it didn't bother me enough.
It only lasted like a minute
Yeah.
in the movie time, so
Yeah, exactly. It didn't bother me enough to like take away from the film. And really the only reason that took place was because they were trying to also like show what else was going on. Like they were trying to do something suspenseful with it. Like it wasn't purposeless. So
yeah.
but yeah, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I'd give it probably like a 3 to a 4, something like that. So
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4. Yeah, even off of this podcast scale of like just general movie scale of 4. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Definitely doesn't seem like a lot of people have seen it either. You know, it seems to be a little lesser known.
It's a good one. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yes. The three of us recommend Snatchers. So.
Hell yeah.
All right. Now, on to the next one. All right. So the next movie we're going to talk about was the one that you chose, Zach.
Yep. I chose Ouija Shark, or Ouija Shark, however you want to say it.
Yeah, they said it funny.
They kind of went back and forth throughout
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, my wife told me to pick this one because it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
She was right.
Yeah.
Had she seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, but usually when she says something's awful, sometimes it's good, but this was not the case. I knew as soon as I got the DVD and saw it was put out by Wild Eye that it was going to be
really?
complete shit.
Yeah, no, I noticed from the very first frames of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of had a feeling that we were in trouble when the opening credits like were longer than a minute, like, and because those credits were like almost 3 minutes, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you take the
They
opening
were
credits,
long, yeah.
yeah, and all right, you look at the runtime for this movie, it's about an hour and 7, hour and 8, right? The opening credits were about 3 minutes. The ending credits were like maybe about 3.5 to 4 minutes. So the movie is really like, if you take out the credits, the movie is only about an hour long, you know?
Yeah.
So
An hour too long.
Yes.
It's basically like shot on video style. I don't know if you call shot on video that anymore, but
It's shot on cell phone, I think.
Well, well, I mean, the first scene, you have a lovely lady hanging out on a beach, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
really,
this is where it was like mostly new because it did look like it was just shot from a cell phone, like
yeah,
with no post production or color correcting or anything after the fact. They just straight up ripped it
Yeah.
off their phone and put it up.
they didn't give a fuck.
well, I was
No.
gonna say, I was gonna say, because that beach that she was on, like, I mean, it didn't really look much like a beach. Like, it kind of looked kind of cold, actually. And
Yeah, like just a lake,
yeah, but
small lake.
but the camera angles were sort of downward at sort of a weird angle.
Yeah,
almost
like they didn't want to
trying-
actually show the landscape or anything.
Yeah, they were like trying to show as little of the landscape as possible, but it just didn't quite work. It kind of just made the shots look a little off and confusing, like, because I don't know, you couldn't really tell how close she was to the water, and then she stepped in and it's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
it
It
just
took
felt
her
like
like
they would, yeah,
it took her like 5 minutes to get to the beach. Just
yeah,
unnecessary shit just to fill time.
She's just
Yeah.
walking through the woods for a
Yeah.
while.
puts a towel
Sunbathing.
down, sits
Yeah.
down, sighs a couple times, then gets back up, goes into the
Yeah.
water.
She's supposed to meet her friends there.
Yeah,
They were going to a house instead. I don't know how that got confused.
yeah. This movie actually kind of reminded me of Slumber Party Massacre 2, like, just a little bit, like, because that movie takes place at like a, what do you call it, like a Malibu party type thing where a bunch of girls get together and like dance around and act goofy, and then they get killed off. Like, this movie sort of followed that same formula, although this was, I wouldn't even say this was quite at the quality of that, which anybody who's
No.
seen that movie, that's saying a lot, because that movie's kind of a giant pile of garbage.
Yeah,
But-
I'd watch that any day over this.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she's at the beach, just swims by herself for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then a shitty looking Ouija board washes up.
yeah.
I know it's because the actual Ouija board is copyrighted, but still, it looked awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
looked-
another clue, like 5 minutes in, clue 104. Like, oh, this is gonna be a shitty movie. Look at that Ouija board.
Well, like, the problem with it was it looked so small. Like, it was like, that's like the smallest looking Ouija board I've ever seen. Like, you're not going to be able to do much Ouijaing
Yeah.
on that Ouija
Yeah.
board.
And then, like, the edges are like cartoony cut out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like a
And,
point.
and also later in the movie, spoiler. Well, okay, whatever. It doesn't even matter, because this movie is kind of impossible to spoil, because you can guess what's going to happen based on the title. But they do end up using the Ouija board, and somehow they get a piece for it.
yeah, the play
Like-
Chet.
Yeah.
But it was enormous.
bad.
Like,
It took
was
up like
so
half the
big.
board.
Yeah.
yeah, it was like bigger than the board almost. Like,
Yeah.
and like, it was just like, uh-oh. But anyway, whatever. So going
Yeah.
back to the beach.
Yeah, so she finds that her friends tell her to meet her at a house. She walks there instead of drives.
Yeah.
More useless walking footage.
Yeah, why not? you know?
They get there. They have like the lamest party ever.
Yeah, it was awkwardly quiet.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
all look so fucking bored.
Yeah, they looked bored and uncomfortable. They
The
sit
pool,
around, do
too,
nothing. Huh?
like like when they're in the pool, they were just horribly active, like just flailing around. You could tell one girl was, because you do that thing where you're like, oh, so cold, like
Yeah.
standing above the water. Like, so
Yeah, the
dumb.
water, all the water in this movie looked cold. They're hanging out in the pool, trying to have fun. One girl's like, hey, let's cook hot dogs and hamburgers. So she cooks hot dogs and hamburgers that we never see.
Yeah,
Um,
not even crumbs or anything.
yeah,
Like, oh,
and-
that was good.
that
Oh,
was
and
good.
they-
And they're putting plates up that look like they just came out of the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Like, they're like glistening in how clean
And-
they look.
Even before the party started, that one girl with the glasses just goes off and has a
Yeah.
car wash scene.
That's another thing, is like, you have 5 characters there, and before they're even introduced, one of them just fucks right off and hangs out with her boyfriend in the middle of the woods.
I don't think it was a boyfriend. I think it was just some neighbor.
Yeah,
Oh.
random dude just washing his car.
some random. Oh, that was it. Yeah, she talks to some handsome hunk who's washing his car, and it's like some kind of like romance, and then they go out into isolation. And
You know, it's funny, and like not to dog on
they
any
are
of
gonna have a party, huh?
and yeah, but and I mean not to like make fun of any of these actors in this, but none of them are like even like B-level attractive looking. They're fine looking people in everyday normal world, but like when you're watching a B movie, they at least have those bimbo type actress looking hotties, but like these are all just normal looking average, and especially that dude who was like the car washing dude. I don't he looked like he was like 40 and like poorly shaven and frumpy, and this teenage girl was all over him. I'm like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that everybody had. I mean, some people have screen presence and some people don't. People who don't have screen presence can often make up for lack of screen presence with charisma. If they don't have charisma, then if they don't have charisma or talent, they can at least have some degree of versatility. If they don't have any versatility, they can at least just take on edgy, physically challenging or demanding role. I mean, there's a million different ways that people can act. It really, but it depends on a good director to be able to find that level of motivation. And I kind of feel like these characters these actors weren't really given any direction. Like the guy probably just, it's like, read your scripts. This is what you do today. Like
it was just like notes of, here's a pool party, do pool party things.
Say that. I mean, if this movie had a script, it was barely written. I did like the one girl's tattoos. I like the fact that she had a goat shirt, and then the band Goat ended up doing the theme song to the movie, Ouija Shark.
Yeah,
I noticed because it was in the beginning credits. The first thing that, like, the first credit I think almost was, and the final theme is by the band Goat. And then like the first scene is her stepping out and she has the t-shirt on. I'm like, oh, this is all just a vanity project for that band, I'm sure.
Well, but I will say I actually did like the song, I must admit. Like when it finally did play during the credits, like I actually thought, I mean, it wasn't catchy, but I actually kind of enjoyed it, like in a weird way, like lyrically. I thought it was kind of funny, So
can't say I remember it.
That's fine, like that's cool. But what can I say? I mean, I gotta find I gotta look for the positives, because I already knew this movie wasn't going to be any good. Like within the first, I mean, you said the first second that was about. As soon as I saw the credits were opening really slowly, I immediately knew, okay, this is going to be another one of those, like, what do you call it? We've seen a few of them. Ginger Dead Man and
Full Moon.
Evil Bong. What?
Full Moon.
Yeah, Full Moon. Like it's gonna feel like another one of those caliber type of movie. Except like this movie didn't even have any lighting in it, so
this made those full moons look like masterpieces.
Yeah.
This is
although
wild.
I will. Oh yeah, what's that?
That's Wild Eye. That's like Full Moon, Wild Eye.
Yeah.
But I will say, I in certain ways I did enjoy this more than Ginger Dead Man, only because part of the reason I felt frustrated with Ginger Dead Man had a lot to do with just how disappointing it was that Gary Busey wasn't in it very much. Like after the first scene, it was a bummer. Like I thought watching a bunch of people getting attacked by a killer cookie would be more fun, but it ended up being kind of slow. And then when they do finally get killed, it's like kind of disappointing. This movie, at least, like, I mean, it was
this
short
movie's
enough.
Full of disappointing kills though as well.
Well, for sure. But I will say that I didn't quite know what was going to happen next in this. Like I didn't expect.
I didn't know what was currently happening.
I mean, I didn't expect George Lucas to show up and be a police officer and talk to Susan Sarandon. I mean, who would have seen that coming? That was pretty cool. I mean, that guy looked exactly like George Lucas.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, George, is that you? Is that you, George? You know. Then I remembered that I'm talking to movie characters on a screen, you know. So, but then Susan Sarandon showed up. And I'm like, this movie's blowing my mind. So anyway, so I think eventually they bust out the Ouija.
Yeah. And like, I don't remember what happens then. Like, oh, just a flash of a shark. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
there's
that
some
moment.
shaking.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, what's that?
Oh, typical day in Southern California.
Yeah.
Earthquakes occasionally, you know.
Yeah. And then I think just back to more shitty partying.
Oh yeah.
And they wake up with hangovers, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they all start at that point start splitting up.
Mm.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
needed some breakfast.
Yeah.
So this is where I was also a little like at first. This is where it was just a bad movie. It's supposed. I'm assuming it was supposed to be a cabin in the woods on the lake, but they're in an obvious neighborhood.
Yeah.
But it's reinforced that it's supposed to be a cabin in the woods thing when the girl just walks through like a nature trail to go to the grocery store
Yeah.
for the breakfast. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We saw you pull up like through a full neighborhood. Why didn't you just take your car back to the grocery? Why
Yeah.
didn't she? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. The death scenes in this movie were like nothing, you know. They were like
Yeah.
PG-13 level death scenes. Like I can't even call them that. Like
Yeah.
a lot of characters just disappear in a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what was that
Yeah.
all about? Like
And it's the shittiest shark effect.
yeah, agreed. That shark looks like garbage. Like literally on the screen. It
Like,
just
it was
looked
like
awful.
they took a picture of a toy and like made it transparent. There's your fucking ghost shark.
Yeah, and they shook it a few times.
Yeah.
Changed the color. Like
Yeah. It just went across the screen. Person disappears. That's how they die.
yeah. There's a once in a while there's a CGI blood splatter that looks really fake.
I think there was there was one like the very first one in the wood because there was a random couple that die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them explodes and like a hand flies and there's blood and the other one just poofs.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had to be selective with with their blood budget apparently.
Yeah. I don't
And-
think they had enough money. Oh,
Yeah, probably not. But like whenever they get killed or run away from the shark, they just run and stop at a tree, put their backs against it, and then just let it kill them.
Yep.
yeah. I didn't understand that. And there were all these scenes where the characters were, a lot of them weren't even running that. A lot of them were jogging. Like, oh no. And the shark was superimposed on the bottom of the screen, just like shaking
or
and following them.
if it's like the camera was facing the person, there's nothing behind them. They're running
Yeah.
from nothing.
Mm-hmm. And there were and it was two funny split ups. There was that couple, they split up like right when the shark appeared, they just booked it in different directions.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
thought was hilarious.
Funny.
Yeah, and the
Like,
girl's like, well, at least it'll get him first.
Yeah. So blatant.
I was like, oh Jesus, she didn't care at all.
No.
And I had to and then the other one was when the shark showed up at the house eventually.
Yeah.
I had to rewind that a few times because I looked away and they were already running. I was like, wait, how'd the shark appear? And I looked away after I rewound it because I rewounded a little too much because it was like 30 seconds at a time. And I was like,
Yeah.
looked away again. Oh, damn it. I spent like
Yeah.
half the movie rewinding this one because I wanted to see how the shark just showed up at their house. And it just showed up at their house.
Yeah.
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 They never explain how. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rules of the shark don't really. I mean, at one point it like kills the one dude in the bar. No, wait, he's not even in the bar. He's like leaving the bar, and then he decides to piss in the.
Yeah.
Which
The
I mean,
other
he was
cop,
right.
yeah.
The bathroom was literally closer. Like it didn't make any sense. Like you could see it like right next to him when he was sitting down, and the exit was like across the like what was that all about? Although the bartender lady was pretty hot. She was like this big muscular lady with tattoos and stuff. She was like, she seemed like, I don't know. I kind of wanted the movie to be about her. Like, I would like to see her.
She was the only one with any type of acting skills, I feel, too.
Yeah, like if they made a sequel to this, she should be the main. She should be the Jason Statham, mega shark or whatever that movie is that he was in. About the giant shark. The Meg, yeah.
Well, guess what? There is going to be a sequel to this.
What?
It's already filming. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, I hope that she's the main character in it because I want the movie to tell her story. I don't give a crap about all these other characters. Like, oh yeah, is it? Oh yeah. I thought that there was some kind of. Well, okay, you can say what you were gonna say. Sorry.
I would just say, just on the sequel part, is this had to make money because it felt like it was made with no budget, like at all. I don't like. I think all these actors were just friends of the writers.
Yeah.
Like, I think one of the writers was even the dad of the main character.
Yeah.
Like,
which we should talk about that next.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, go on.
In between all the disappearings. She calls the main character calls her dad, and apparently he's like a psychic or something.
Yeah,
or has
he's
some.
He's involved in the occult.
Yeah, the family has been involved in the occult for generations.
Yeah.
So he tries to find out. Like he goes to a different psychic with a shitty crystal ball, like a spirit Halloween crystal ball.
Yeah. I think I've seen that same crystal ball somewhere.
I forget what happens after that with him.
He gets sucked into the shark's ghost dimension.
No, he figures out that the shark is chasing his daughter. So he grabs a crystal ball and is like, "Come after me, shark!
Oh yeah,
come on, attack me, shark!" And then it comes and kills him.
Yeah, but doesn't he end up defeating? Okay, never mind. Go on.
That's the end, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump ahead. Ah, dang! Spoiled the whole movie.
The shark kills him.
Yeah.
And then somehow the last two girls end up with that cop, but then they split up the two girls again. Like the girl from the car wash guy just randomly appears.
Yes, I was like, because I was trying to slay a shit because they never acknowledged her at all during the party or whatever. Like, when she went off the next morning, she wasn't there, didn't acknowledge that she was still gone the next morning, and then she just randomly shows up at the last few scenes. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, like as the main girl was running away, she's like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
Should have stayed with the car wash boy.
Yeah. I think he made it out alive, I assume. Yeah. I don't remember it dying, at least.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody else died, though. I mean, although the lady at the bartender, like that bartender lady, didn't die either, which is why I think she should be in the sequel, because they left her door open. But yeah, pretty much everybody else died, though, and her friends all died. They all got picked off pretty fast. Like the main girl.
There was one that was like the next morning or whatever was like smoking a joint in the pool.
Oh yeah.
Like she was sitting on the edge of the pool with her feet in the water, smoking a joint, and then the shark comes up to her.
Yeah.
She was like, "Whoa, you're cool. You want some?" She like lets the shark take a hit.
Yeah, she like
just explodes.
Yeah, then she blows up.
I hate scenes like that.
Yeah.
It's like people who write these scenes not realize that weed is not not a hallucinogen?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. People that write them like that have never smoked it. Ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, Evil Bong, like, I mean, I don't even want to get started on that one. I mean, there was a lot of things that pissed me off about that movie, but I think we went over all that already. So
Yeah. So yeah, the last two girls, they split up. The stupid one just backs into a tree again, gets
And
killed.
dies.
Yeah. Main character runs into the cop who was looking for one of the other missing ones, I think.
Yeah, George Lucas, Officer
Yeah.
George Lucas.
They meet up, they run away from the shark. It's somehow winter again, or somehow winter. Did you see the snow on the ground?
I
did.
I missed that shit.
I think I did see that. Although I went like, I think I just assumed that I was seeing things at that point.
Nope. It
Is
was.
I mean,
it was
this movie
winter.
kind of made me feel like I was brain dead.
Shit, I was not paying attention
Yeah.
by this point.
It was like a dusting, but it was there. It was like
Yeah.
pool party and then snow.
So
It was
they
filmed in Canada.
Yeah, it
so-
was a Canada film. Yeah.
So they filmed this in the winter in Canada, and they have all these pool party scenes and going into the beach. Like, I feel bad for these actors for having to put up with the cold temperatures. Like,
Yeah. So they get to the cabin, or random cabin. It was random, right? There was no
Yeah.
explanation.
They just happened upon the cabin. Yeah.
I don't think that they ever explained that
Before they get to the cabin, though, she stops at her car, puts on a leather jacket, and then grabs the shotgun out of her trunk.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
That was funny.
Oh.
Out of
And
nowhere.
I loved how when she showed up at her car, at her trunk was already open.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when I saw that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, okay. But go on. Sorry.
So the cop and the main girl are at the cabin. The shark tries to get them, but can't get in, even though it's a fucking ghost shark. Can't get through the walls.
Oh yeah, she's quickly explained that, but I don't even remember what
It was
she
supposed
said.
to be because she had the Ouija board, but it was just sitting in the house. Like early
Okay.
at one point, she grabbed it and like used it as a shield at one point.
Yep.
So I felt like you had to be at least pointing it at the shark to make it go away, but
Yeah. Like
apparently
a
it just-
Dracula and a cross.
yeah, apparently it just needs to be laying around.
It's like some force field or some shit.
Yeah. And then does she contact her dad, or does her dad contact her from the ghost shark world?
I think
she uses the Ouija board to talk to her dad at one point.
Yeah, and he says goodbye, and it's like a big emotional moment. And then,
Yeah, and then he does some Doctor Strange shit.
yeah, he kills the shark.
Kills the shark, but then it comes back.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
And she kills it again somehow. I forget how.
She blows up the Ouija board. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Shoots
was
the Ouija
the
board.
stupidest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Could have just done that the whole time.
Like, yeah, they were shooting bullets at the shark, thinking it would do something, but of course, it's a ghost. It would just. I mean, the bullet effects were bad too. It was just video game shooting sound effects and.
With clearly airsoft guns.
Mm.
Oh yeah, when she was trying to contact her dad with the Ouija board, instead of a planchette, she used the cop's gun.
Oh right, yeah.
But you could see the orange painted over.
Right. Oh, that was fucking
So funny. Oh man. And then it says Finn at the end.
Yeah, of course. Stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it did something that Finding Nemo didn't do, apparently, according to meme internet stuff, like, because I guess a lot of people felt like Finding Nemo it was a missed opportunity to not write Finn at the end, which I don't know. I kind
Should
of find that
happen
sort of thing.
during any fish movie.
I think it did for Piranha 3 Double D, didn't it?
It might
I think
have.
so.
I think
think
it happened
so,
for a
yeah.
movie we watched with
Yeah.
shark or fish.
We should watch more
Killer
fish
fish.
movies. Like,
See how many do it.
Oh,
yeah,
we should have done a Shark Week episode or something.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, at least we got this one out of the way. What are some other
Yeah.
bad shark movies that exist?
There's a lot.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's kind of daunting. I want to find the worst ones. But
Well, this is probably down there.
Yeah.
oh, I would imagine, because my biggest problem with this movie is there wasn't enough shark stuff. It's like, and the shark stuff there was, it was like, it looked like it's fake, stupid looking dumb shark thing. I don't know.
Dollar store
felt like
toy.
Yeah, like Parker Brothers. It kind of felt like a horror movie made for babies. Like it had that kind of feel to it. It felt like something that was like almost not made by humans, that might have been like designed by like an algorithm or something. Like, oh, people like shark movies and ghost movies, so let's like film this over maybe a 7 to 8 hour period, and then just edit it together and call it Ouija Shark. And let's not feed our cast either, because we
Can't
got to
even
be
get
busy.
food
We
for
gotta
the
get
real
this
shoot.
Yeah.
Can't even get food for the real shoot.
Yeah, like I felt, I don't know, I almost feel like the real story is behind the scenes.
I think it was just a money making scam. Like they just got, because I think they just got all their like these, whoever was making it, like 2 or 3 people, just got their friends together, filmed it, and then put it out like on the internet. Somehow got enough to distribute it.
Yeah, I think
really-
you gotta. Oh, go on.
I said it couldn't have cost that much at all, like a couple thousand to make. Like I would blow
Probably
my
not
mind.
even that.
Yeah. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's getting a sequel, because it made a few thousand with a couple $100 budget.
I
Yeah.
paid $10 for the DVD.
Was it a DVD? Was it a Blu-ray?
It was a DVD, which I should show the cover.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
Makes it look way better than it is.
Yeah. I noticed
Yeah,
that too, because that was just whatever streaming service I used. I didn't pay for this one, luckily. It
Yeah.
did. I was like, they put more budget into the friggin' poster than they did the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched it on Tubi. Because
I
it's
guess
like,
I
oh,
did too.
commercials.
Thank
yeah.
God, commercials.
Yeah, it's like I need a little bit of a mental break from this, because this is work.
Yes.
But they didn't have enough ghost stuff. I mean, there was a moment where they tried to do the paranormal activity thing, like when they go into the house at the beginning and they have the camera and it's like all shaky and stuff. But then they kind of drop that. It's like, all
I
right,
think
so they're
that
not
was
going to
just
try
poor.
that.
I
Huh?
think that was just poor cameramen.
Oh yeah, maybe I was just imagining. Yeah, I don't know, kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about it.
I hated it.
Yeah. Gave it a half a star.
Yeah.
I can't go any higher than a half a star. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a whole star.
Oh,
Because-
man.
Yeah, a whole single star, because if you're a baby and you like sharks and you are like you are mostly clueless and unable to tell what's going on, the parts with the toy shark bouncing around in the woods, like if you take those scenes out and show them to a baby, they'll probably laugh at it.
I mean, there's
song
not
was
enough
okay.
like gore or anything to scare a baby.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few gore moments, which you can't really tell what's going on in them anyway. There's no nudity. It's a relatively clean movie, other than the scene at the end where the girl aims the shotgun at the shark's head and she decides to use a few 4-letter words on the shark. What does she say? Fuck off, bitch face, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that's a little much, you know. Let's see, what else do I like about this movie? Not much, honestly. It was kind of badly shot. Acting? What acting? I mean, what story? What movie? Was it a movie? I don't know. I mean, it's like kind of big nothing. Although it was still more watchable than Food Fight. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
I enjoyed Food Fight a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed this.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
the reason,
for different reasons, but yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think the reason I didn't enjoy Food Fight was because the animation was so bad that like the keyframes being all jagged and flashing started to hurt my brain. Like I felt physical pain in my eyes watching Food Fight, whereas this movie, most of the pain I felt was from cringing at the acting, you know.
Yeah.
Or the lack of acting, you know. But kudos to George Lucas for showing up.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that concludes our episode. So pretty interesting, you know. We talked about a relatively normal movie, except not really, Simply Irresistible. Then we talked about a, you know, pretty good traditional old-fashioned B movie with Snatchers, and then we talked about something that was more Z grade level, which was Ghost Shark. No,
Ouija.
Shark Ouija Shark.
There is a
Sorry.
movie called Ghost Shark.
Oh, excellent.
Okay then.
Has Cool Duder in it.
Oh, it does it. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay. Very cool. All right. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So now we shall choose our picks for next time.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go first?
I'll go last because of how I'm gonna do it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. I guess I'll go with Dead Man's Curve. Why not? I talked about it last time. Now I'm gonna go with it this time. Dead Man's Curve from the mid-90s. So.
Okay. The one I choose is Wish Upon from 2017.
I have
Okay.
that one.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
All right. I know nothing about it, so I'll check it out.
And I couldn't decide. So I compiled a list of shit for my collection
Oh, nice.
into a letterbox list. So I'm gonna do a number generator. Yeah,
Alright.
I guess I'll
Alright.
do a screen share for this.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna click it 3 times. See
Okay.
what we get. 470.
All right. 470.
There's a lot of shit in there.
Damn.
Oh man.
Look at that shit. That's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Holy crap. All right. 470.
The Jackhammer Massacre.
All right.
All right, cool.
I like that.
All right.
That's a good idea.
Let's make sure it's on a streaming service. I don't know if it is. Check YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good point. Because I did try. I wanted to do a Neil Breenan film,
Oh yeah.
but his are fucking expensive. Like the one I looked at and thought about was like it was on streaming, but like $20 a pop.
Oh wow.
Like that motherfucker.
I haven't seen any of Neil Breen's work, but yeah.
Neither have I, but
noticed-
I've seen Red Letter Media is all about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I've
do.
heard
They
of
cover
him.
him a lot.
Yeah. I've heard of him. He sometimes gets mentioned on like weird movie groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people actually enjoy his
infamous.
style. I have no clue what his movies are like, so I'd have to watch them, but they're pretty expensive. So anyway, yeah, what?
The Jackhammer Massacre is not streaming, and it's not on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Oh no.
All right.
Keep
so should we-
rolling.
Yeah,
Should
let's
we do
keep
another
doing
one?
it. Yeah.
All right. All right. So Jackhammer Massacre. I'll write the title down at least, so in case it ever gets like a release or something.
Yeah. Here we go again. 621.
All right.
Dead Man's Hand, Casino of the Damned.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, fancy.
That goes along really well with Dead Man's Curve.
Yeah. And it's full moon, so it probably is streaming. Yeah, it says it's on Tubi.
Oh, excellent. All right. So Dead Man's Hand, Casino something.
Casino of the Damned.
Casino of the Damned. Okay. All right. So cool. All right. I'm looking forward to these. These sound exciting. So
I might do that
We
more
should-
often.
yeah.
You
That's
have
a
a
good
huge
idea.
list there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how I chose Devil's Story, which
Yeah.
that didn't end up working out.
It's coming out on Blu-ray at the end of the month, though.
That's true.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
It is. It is getting released, which is excellent because it is a glorious picture.
Yeah, we should definitely do it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I guess that concludes this episode. So yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Sweet dreams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
See ya.